I'm not. It's too early in the morning. I'm really excited about tonight, though. We're going to play Name That Tune. Now, I will not be monetizing Name That Tune because after we name that tune, I will play the video for it. It's going to be a lot of fun. A lot of fun, fun, fun. All right. This is a conversation that I want to have. So I noticed on a community post, because I noticed things, I do notice things, and I came across this. No, I'm not sure when this was put out.
It's 7
Wait a
a.m.
minute. Let me move my little happy
Say it in
girl.
the street, that's a
Yes,
knockout.
I'm happy
But you
from the
say
song.
you are somebody that
I'm gonna
you are
say this,
somebody that I
and this
don't
is my
know.
opinion. I don't
But you're
care what
taking
anybody
shots
else
at me
thinks.
like it's Patron, and
Fred,
I'm just
you're
like,
the one
damn.
the whole time that has
It's
kept
7
running your mouth
a.m.
about the Commonwealth case.
Say it in the
Okay?
street,
Now,
that's
are
a
you trying to
knockout.
be
But you
impotent,
say
being important?
you are
No,
somebody that
I'm
I
just
don't
having
know.
some coffee this
But you're
morning.
taking
Thought I'd
shots
just
at
pop
me like it's
on. It's
Patron,
kind of
and I'm just
quiet
like,
here.
damn.
Everyone.
It's 7
So,
a.m.
I did this
Say
on
it in the
YouTube.
street,
I
that's
was
a
like,
knockout.
where is the proof that Andy Bernard was in Beach Creek the day Summer Wells went missing? And we got a lot of shit about it. What time did Andy leave work? Andy says, I'm on camera. I go, where's McDonald's? Oh, really? What do you know? What do you know, sir? What is up with you people? Now, the thing about it is, let me say this. Do you all really believe that Pruitt is not talking about Andy because he thinks Andy's guilty? I mean, seriously, I want you guys to go opinion on that for real. I mean, hell, we've had some marriages in the Commonwealth state. Andy got married, Ziggy got married, Brett got married. Ziggy, hey, how are you, H. Davis? How are you today? Hey, I didn't get to ask you how was your prom, guys? How'd that go? Did you give your date some flowers and stuff? Did you do it up right? Did you do the funky chicken? Did you? I'm just, I'm just, just one of those days for me. Excuse me. I didn't know Traders was going live, or I wouldn't have went live. Because she's so funny. I don't know what she's talking about. Some kind of disease or something. You did the chicken dance. Oh, that is so cool. Okay, so the presents put out Summerwell Case by Missing Beatrice. Andy Bernard. I got off of okay, D, not DD. This is D presents, okay? Now, I want to hear Andy say he got off
Are
early.
you drowning?
And he did, you know, and I will drop that one here in a minute. Hold on, I'll just go on. Let's hear it. Isn't that beautiful? It is beautiful country. Beautiful country. All right, let's hear Andy say he got up early that day. What are you kidding? Are you on low body today? Oh, here, let me do that. Let me make sure I don't have anything else pulled up. Hold on. Is that just me? Is it just me? Oh, I don't see any other tabs pulled up. So I do not know. H. Davis, am I sounding that way to you too? Am I sounding like shit again today? I don't have anything else pulled up. Okay. Yeah. Well, I made sure I didn't have any other tabs pulled up. That's what it was. It must have been a tab I had pulled up. I apologize. Thank you, Flies, for setting me straight. Flies always sets me straight. She does. She's like, bitch. Yes, you are. Yes, I am. What am I? I describe myself in 4 different ways. Remain calm, RC, Crypt Keeper, OHAG, and all around biatch. Sandy, let me wave to you. Hi, Sandy. Hey, I'm getting ready to get my hair done too. I'm going to shock you guys. I'm going to be one hot looking mama. I am going to be hot to trot. I am. For real. StreamYard's been weird for different people. Well, this whole social media thing is weird to me. I don't understand it. Why is it? After I get off here, please call you. Okay, I promise I will. I promise I will. Okay, let me see. Let's see what some of today's topics are. I don't want to talk about politics because I just don't do that because then they would get me. I know they would. I would have Homeland Security at my door knocking. And I would be like, I hear you knocking, but you can't come in. Do, 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 do. Wow. To let you guys know, the first live I did about Ray Jones was they, of course, copyright struck me because I was playing the videos and stuff, and I'm good with that. I'm good with that. For real, for real. All right, let me see here. Let's pop over here. Oh, man. Diddy ain't getting out of the slammer, I don't think. For real. Man charged after threatening pilot, flight attendants, and passengers before banging on cockpit door mid-flight. Are they allowed to carry tasers? Are flight crew allowed to carry tasers? Or could that make be not good for the plane? Maybe that wouldn't be too good. Maybe they're not allowed. I don't know. I'd be carrying something, put them people in their place. Could you imagine me as a flight attendant? Welcome to Flight 420. This is your hostess. Remain calm. Sit down, relax, have some candy. We will be at our destination in about an hour. So live it up. Live it up, people. For real. I'd be eating my candy. I'd forget to tell them how their seatbelt works and shit. I'd be like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry the landing was kind of rough and I forgot to tell you to buckle up. I shouldn't laugh about that because there's a lot of stuff going on with airplanes. It's like once a plane has a problem, 20,000 planes have a problem. For real. Okay, so, did you guys hear where Taylor, oh yes, please, I do. I'm going to go over to it in just a second. Thank you for reminding me. I got to pull back up my Ubatuba. Taylor Swift got booed at the game. Yeah, she got booed. Boo! She was like, are they booing me? It's like, yeah, lady. You kept your man busy. He lost. He lost the game. All right, I've got it pulled back up. All right, you guys, this is Dee Presents, and I always recommend, too, that everybody goes back and watches the older stuff from different creators. Like I said, there's a lot of creators who came out and spoke about Summer's case and things that they heard or seen. Or, well, not seen. Well, kind of seen. Some of them act like they seen stuff. I want to know if Fred got to see camera footage of everybody coming in and out of the area, what were you doing, Fred? Inquiring minds want to know, Fred, because your woman has contradicted you. Not Ziggy, okay? I'm talking about Laura. Laura. I should write a song for Laura. Laura, I'm so sorry Ziggy took your man and made sure to let us know that they were in bed. I don't know why, but I heard you cry. For real. Okay, this is Dee Presents. Let me pull her up. Go check out Dee. Some people, to each their own. Like I always said, if you don't like a certain creator, it doesn't mean that they're not putting out some interesting stuff, right? Oh, yes, I agree, Sandy. Jesus was looking down on her. I heard she's doing much better. I heard that anyway. I don't know. I heard it. I heard it through the grapevine. You did the chicken dance with your best friend? That is so cool, Age. I bet you had fun. I bet you had fun. I never went to the prom. Yeah, that's a whole story in itself. That is a whole story in itself. All right, this is Dee Presents. It's called Summer Wells, age 5, missing, Beach Creek, Tennessee. Andy Bernard, I got off early. Here we go.
Did they have to have a warrant to enter any of your property?
No, they searched what they wanted to. I wanted them to find Summer. Why would I want to enter in a missing child's case? I had nothing to do with any of that. My guilt lies in selling Don and Candace weed.
Hi, my name is Dee. Thank you for watching my
Hey,
channel.
Dee, girl.
You're watching Slop, otherwise known as Shit Left on the Plate.
Oh, okay. So Dee is showing Slop. Is this what this is? All right. So Slop is another channel. And I also watched that channel. Okay. This is weird. I'm sorry. It's weird.
Let's listen to Ziggy and Andy and Fred Hill, what they said.
So they didn't have to have a warrant to go into your house?
No, they brought the dogs in my house. They took the dogs in every one of the buildings at my house.
Okay.
None of the
They searched.
properties. 0 of the properties they had to have a warrant.
No. Why would I keep them off my property?
I don't know. That's why we were asking.
Okay. Now, if it's
What about Fred? Did they search Fred's whole property? Inquiring minds want to know. Inquiring minds want to know. Oh, Dee was Slop. Okay, sorry, Dee. All right, so Dee was Slop. Andy's telling us right here that they didn't need a warrant to search any of his properties. But was that the case with Fred's? Because I'm curious why the psychic lady would need Fred's sisters to go back to Fred's property and search it again. Right? Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
if I left and they come through and search him, and she said that she couldn't give permission for them to search, I don't know. I was not allowed back on the property till September of 21. September 6th of 21 is the first day I was back on that property.
Okay, so Andy left the property and wasn't allowed back on it till September 6th. But if it wasn't Jody Sue's property and it was Andy's parents' property, then the parents would be the one, I would think, that would have to tell them that they could search it, right? Am I wrong? Hey, little Deb, good to see you. Hey, I wanted to let you guys know, you know, when we were having a conversation about a YouTuber that passed away, and someone came into my chat and wanted to talk about Bullhorn Betty. Okay. Now, look, I don't care if somebody wants to talk about Betty. She's not my priority topic of conversation. And I did go in and block that person. If I misled that person to think that I was going to drop them a link in the middle of paying respects to someone who's no longer with us, I apologize for that. I know that it was pointed out to me that that person was a member or whatever. And so I just want to kind of tell people who are gifted memberships and things like that, I do have fun over here, and I do try to talk about all kinds of different stuff. But y'all know, if I'm intent on talking about something that's really important, I prefer not to have someone kind of come in and try to take away from that. So yes, that is why that person got timed out. But I do apologize if I made that person feel in any way that I was being a bitch, because I was kind of being a bitch. I really was.
After I left. But I was not in that holler on Ben Hill Road on the 15th.
Okay.
I was there the 14th because I was dealing with Jackie Dobbs. And I came home early, or didn't even go.
If you got off work.
Wait. I'm stopping this right now. Because what I'm hearing Andy saying, he got home early the day before, right? Yes, that's exactly it, Blythe. You said it better than I do. Yes. And so yeah. He got off work early on the 14th. He got I can stop it right here and already tell you guys, he got off work early on the 14th because he was messing with Jackie Dobbs. So already I'm looking at this conversation and I'm like, put the brakes on. Okay. Andy, what's the 14th when the guy was in the van showing you his meat? I'm just asking.
Took off work the day before Summer come up missing.
Yes,
why in the world would you say you got off early?
Go to work
because
that day.
That's what he said.
And I took off after Summer went missing. That way, my kids and people, and then I was there just to deal with people searching and stuff like that.
So he took off after Summer went missing. So he got off work early on the 14th. He goes back to work on the 15th. He's changing tires or whatever he was doing. And he took off work after that because there was a lot going on in the hauler. I'm sure there was an extended amount of traffic. Okay. For real.
She has.
And I am not, look, I'm not an Andy Bernard fan. I'm not a fan of really any of them up there, to be honest. The 14th, why not say he took off early after? He never said the 15th.
To make me look how she wants me to look, to be bad, but she's not wanting me to look that bad. Because
now, Andy, I have to admit, I've heard you say this before. It makes no sense. You make no sense when you say that. So let's just rewind it a little bit. Okay, so this is what he's saying about Jody.
Stuff like that. She has to make me look how she wants me to look, to be.
She has to make me look how she wants me to look, to be bad.
But she's not wanting me to look that bad.
But she's not wanting me to look that bad.
Because I'm not.
Because I'm not. Andy, I'll always remember you saying this. For real. Oh, thank you, H. I had not noticed. So thank you for that. I'm at 1.72. Whoop, whoop. I must be doing something a little bit right. For real. So, and we can talk about different things today. I was just, leading us in with Andy.
I'm a
Only
jackass if you fuck
he's
with me.
toast.
If you stick a dog in a cage and you whack that cage as you go by with a stick every day, when you let that dog out, he's probably going to bite your ass.
Well, who did the most whacking and who did the most biting? Because if you stayed there in it, you deserved it. If she
Wow, D. Okay, so we know that there's no hiding the fact that Andy and Jody, they would have their spats and things that Andy did to Jody. Andy admitted that he did things that he was not proud of. Now, does that make a difference? No, not really, because you just don't harm your partner like that, right? At all. So, yeah.
she stayed there in it, she deserved it. And nobody leaves a dog in a cage for 26 whole entire years.
Yeah, that's true.
I was GPS tracked. I was followed when I left to try to get away.
Wait. Whose cabin is this? This wasn't the cabin they were living in, is it? I don't know if I've ever looked at pictures of Jody and Andy's cabin. Jesse tries to look bad, but she knows he didn't do the things he's accused of on the 15th. Well, my understanding is that Jody has had to come to Andy's defense a couple times. If I remember correctly, I heard her say she was sick of it. She was sick of it. So
I was tracked down. I was looked for. If I was that bad, I was gone. Let me be.
Jody Sue has already poisoned our minds against Andy for 2.5 years now.
well, the thing about that is, and yes, I'm commenting on this. You guys know I'm a commentator. The thing about that is, from the beginning, I think people should have separated, and this is just my opinion, Jody and Andy's DV and Summer Wells's case. And I truly believe that. I can show you the Facebook message that I sent Jody way back, and said to her, I really believe that you should separate what you have and had going on with Andy to Summer's case. And she told me to F off. I mean, I wouldn't have expected anything else. So
No victim of domestic violence is going to go seek out, track down, and find their abuser. So
that is not true, because let me tell you something. A lot of DV happens because they love each other. They love each other. And my opinion again, I think that, when that happens, one or the other wants to know where they're at and what they're doing, right? Does that make sense to you guys? That absolutely, if you have an abuser and they're gone, a lot of women and a lot of men will go try to track them down, find out where they're at, etc. That's just the way I feel about it. I don't know if you guys understand what I'm saying or not, but
that can bitch at him some more. I'm sorry, but this is the truth. No victim is going to go seek out their abuser. That's the main
I'm
reason
sorry,
Jody
ma'am.
Sue didn't want Andy on anybody's panels, because then we would find out. Now we have found out that Andy is not quite the monster she claimed he was or portrayed him to be. Andy,
The thing about it is, he's Jody's monster, and that's all that matters to Jody. I'm gonna be giving my opinion a lot. I'm gonna quit saying this is my opinion because you guys know I'm opinionated. That is Jody's monster. And just because others may not feel that he's a monster, I personally am not going to take away the fact that he is Jody's monster. I'm not doing that.
felt like he got out of prison after that 26 years with Jody Sue. I bet he was strapped down a lot being with her. Turmoil, 24/7 probably.
Check this out.
Okay, so that's not all on Jody Sue. That's on both of them. That is on both of them. For sure.
Before I left, after I
To torment, abuse, and terrorize. That's what Jody Sue did to Andy. She terrorized him, tormented him, and tracked him down. I see a familiar pattern of methods that narcissists and schizophrenics use when
Oh, D. I respect your opinions, but I mean, narcissistic, yeah, I can see Jody. She is kind of narcissistic, but you're throwing schizophrenia in there? Oh.
they make a statement, you can sometimes take that statement and turn it around and you have the truth. Like Jody Sue says, Andy's the abuser. No, Andy is not an abuser. Jody Sue's the abuser. She's a troublemaker wherever she goes.
Now, this is the thing. All right, we've seen Don Wells, right? I mean, if you look at that situation, people were putting that on Candace, right? She busted Dawn in the ear, and Candace did this, and Candace did that. It was a two-way street. It was a two-way street. For real. And women who have been battered by their significant other don't necessarily want that person to leave them. Now, was it, to me, a big slap in the face when Andy left her and got married as quick as he did? Yeah, that was kind of freaking weird, right?
You heard what Don Sherfy said about her. Remember when Dr. Phil asked Candace and Don who moved away? All three of these people moved away. They were gone within 2 months of Summer being gone. All three of them. The three that moved away are the very three whose phones didn't get taken on June 15th, 2021.
Maybe they didn't feel that they needed their phones. Now, Andy was at work, so why would they need his phone? And we don't know that, right? Do we know that? Do we know if their phones were looked at or not? Yeah, Don was flirting with everybody. He's a ladies' man. Okay.
there. If the police see me there on camera, by all means, I think they've done to here, hit me. I'll call them Monday because I'm sick and tired of going through this, and I'm gonna see what they say.
Jody Sue's definitely not helping things, okay? I wish they would go ahead and clear some people, you know, or give us.
But me too. I do too. If they want me, they know where I'm at. I've not done nothing. I've not done nothing wrong in the state of Tennessee since 2000 and something, other than selling them.
He said he's not done anything wrong since he got in trouble for the Mary J stuff. Now, I haven't really got into the 32 people arrested. If you go back and look at it, there's Lawson's, and I mean, all the names are in there. Many many names from around that area was in that list of 32 people that got arrested. I'll see if I can find it.
Literally, you're there to make my
Yes, that's the thing, Sandy, and I'm glad you pointed that out. Okay. It's been said over and over and over that Andy was at work. No one has came out and said that there is actual proof that Don Wells was at work that day. Or there's no proof coming out saying that Don did not on that day come home from work. Except for what Fred says. Hey, exploited. So.
3. Did you see Jackie Dobbs on the 15th? Before I was down there and the law was down there and Mom was down there. You know, any day on the 14th? That morning. What time that morning? About 8:30. Okay, so
Okay, that's when Fred said that he seen Jackie Dobbs down there around 8:30. I believe this is the conversation where that right there, Andy stating he put the 14th and the 15th there together, right? And I think that confused a lot of people. So, okay, I'm going to play that one more time because I think a lot of people were confused just by Andy throwing out the 14 and 15 together.
what time that morning? About 8:30.
Brad also said that Brandon, the Brandon boy, was standing at his mailbox at 8 o'clock. Now, I do remember that Tree Trimmer said that they did see Candace with Summer in the car that morning. If Fred was out and about that early, did he see Candace? I'm just asking. I don't know.
Okay, so I was probably still at the damn house asleep then. Was there a blue blazer down there in my driveway? Yes. Okay. Fred, you didn't come in till late on the 15th. It was the 16th, bro.
There was a blue blazer at the end of Andy's driveway. And that was said to have been his uncle. Now, that's on the morning of the 15th. And he's saying, okay, Fred, you didn't come in too late on the 15th. It was the 16th. Fred.
Too late on the 15th. It was the 16th, bro. I swear to you. If I'm lying, may God strike me dead sitting right here talking to y'all.
You guys hear what he just said? It's really important. Please, even though they're getting the days kind of mixed up, listen to what Andy is saying. Because Fred said on the 15th that he came in and couldn't get in the holler too much because it was traffic infested. So here we go. The 16th, he swears.
Fred, you didn't come in till late on the 15th. It was the 16th, bro. I swear to you. If I'm lying, may God strike me dead sitting right here talking to y'all.
Hey, Houston, we got a problem right here.
Mm-hmm.
There's a problem right here. Why don't somebody come clean for Summer?
Yeah,
Why don't somebody tell the fucking truth for this little girl that's been missing?
Yep.
Why don't somebody put an end to all this bullshit? Why don't some
girl, I've been trying to get them to do that since the day Summer went missing. Stop the bullshit. But I'm sorry. I tend to believe Andy. And it sounds like Andy is saying, Fred, you're saying you came in late on the 15th, but it was the 16th, right?
somebody end it? Why don't somebody stop the charade and the lies? Lawson hasn't done shit for Summer Wells or her case. When are we going to get an update? When is there going to be an indictment?
I do want to say this, you guys. This is just the way I feel. just because law enforcement hasn't given us an update or one that we want that tells us that they know something about Summer doesn't mean they're not working the case. That's my opinion, and I'm sticking to it.
Indictment in this case. Is this case getting cold? And if
No.
it really is true that L.E. did not collect Boog's phone and Jody Sue's phone and Andy's phone, then this case was cold before it even started.
That's
What the
not
fuck
true.
is going on, Ronnie? What kind of police work is that? And if the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation hasn't noticed that Ronnie hasn't collected all the evidence, then they're not doing their job either, folks.
Let me say this. Hawkins County, TBI, and FBI all question these people. They question Andy Bernard. How do we know that just because they didn't collect their phones and take their phones with them, that they were not like, hey, here's my phone. Look at my phone, right? How do we know that? We don't. We don't.
Fred, are you there? Did you hear what he said?
I mean, it's hindsight 15, and they have it where on the 15. Because Donna's at
This wire shit gets me, y'all. Hey, this wire shit gets me. Immediately, they came in to look for Summer, what, about 7, right? The searchers, they all got there very quickly. Very quickly. So, what time did they wire you, Fred? What time did they wire you? And I don't get that. I don't get that. We don't even know if that's true. We don't. And, you know, it was pointed out that I think Kerr said she believed that Fred was using his phone to record, right? I don't understand that. She's defending Fred on his bullshit. We don't, as long as they're investigating, right? Yeah, that's what I want to know, Sandy. Great question. Why, of all people, Fred, were you the recipient of a wire? Why were you the recipient of that wire?
my house at 8:30 at night.
Don was at his house at 8:30 that night. Don probably would have been at your house earlier than that, Fred, because your house was the first place he wanted to go. And does nobody see the significance that if Candace went to that property, why? I know Lisa Kay has something to say, says it's because Candace was taking stuff to hide it. But I'm sorry, that makes no sense to me. Because, okay, that's them trying to say that somebody was trying to set Fred up. Why? Why, of all the people, is Fred the one that's wearing the wire and somebody's trying to set him up? Okay? I don't know why. If that's the case, I don't know why. But if Don and Fred were bosom buddies, why would, Sandy said, in my opinion, Fred took her by horseback, has from the beginning been my hit. Ooh, that's interesting, Sandy. Well, I said, I believe Andy because law enforcement, Andy's boss says Andy wasn't working till after the 6th. If I was Don, I would have went to Fred Hill too. The many stories Fred has told is Fred setting himself up. That's what I'm saying, Flies. That's exactly what I'm saying.
I said, Don got to my house about 8:30 on the 15th. And we said, I followed him in. That's when searched my places.
Wait. Did you just hear him say he followed Don in? I thought that everybody was already there. Am I losing my freaking mind here? I thought that the traffic was so heavy in the holler, Fred, that you couldn't hardly get in. And Don got there at what? 20 minutes? Really quickly. Don thought it was 5:30. Law enforcement was called at first call at 6:23. If you followed Don in, you wouldn't have had a problem getting in the holler because there was only a couple of law enforcement officers there at that time. Why are you not making any sense, Fred? Yes, we heard another creator say that they seen Andy Bernard on the road too, but won't show it. No, ma'am. If you have that evidence and you're coming out claiming someone is guilty of doing anything in the holler that day, me personally, I want to see the receipts. Because I could come on here and say anything that I wanted and not be telling the truth about it, right? But then you get in a fucking bind, right? Because if you don't believe what these people are saying, then they're like, oh, you're calling me a liar. Nobody's calling anybody a liar or saying they're not telling the truth. But this is very important, in my opinion, to Summer's case. There's a difference between saying that I've seen the evidence and putting it out and not seeing the evidence and not putting it out.
Okay, when Don leaves, that's when they pick me up with the wire to wire in on the 15th.
What do you mean when Don leaves? So what he's saying, Don came down to his property at 8:30 that night. After Don came down on the property is when they wired him. Okay.
How long was Don there? Like at that point?
About 15 minutes.
And then he came back later too.
Yeah, he's up and all that.
So they wanted you to. Okay, so that's why because they just happened to see.
So Don comes down there. He was down there for 15 minutes, and law enforcement was like, "Hey, we seen Don Wells down here. He was here for 15 minutes. So let us wire you, Fred, and we want you to take 3 days and spend it with Don Wells to see if Don says anything."
Don leaves straight from there, right? He just left, and you're telling him that he's acting weird, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm sure he was acting weird.
Well,
because he's a
I
weirdo.
don't know.
I know this. Hawkins County, Tennessee needs a brand new sheriff. Fast.
Oh, Lord.
Not in a year and a half from now, not in 2 years from now.
Okay, I'm going to explain the sheriff situation really quickly. I've explained it before. Actually, I've got a story about Ronnie Lawson. I'll have to find it that I wrote. Yeah, it's really cute. I got to find it. It's in my notes somewhere. But anyhow, people maybe don't understand that Ronnie Lawson being a sheriff in that area and being there as long as he has, and individuals not running against him. Do you really think that being the sheriff of Hawkins County is just something that somebody wants to do just so they can say, I'm the sheriff of Hawkins County? Look at the area. Look at things that go on. Okay? Now, it's not like living somewhere where somebody does messed up stuff, or, you know, law enforcement has to go serve a warrant, or trying to, you know, arrest somebody. You're in the mountains where people can run. They can run. They have, what do you call them? All kinds of different traps and things like that. All through. If I went to Beach Creek and walked around in the woods, I would be freaking careful. But how do we know that how do we know that Sheriff Lawson turns a blind eye? And that happens everywhere. Depending on the circumstances, sometimes the sheriff will be like, you know, you're dumb, don't do that again. Moving on. Scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. Dee has been proven to put out false info, by the way, like her family's voice in a song released in 22 over the recording of the helicopter. Oh, the helicopter video. I remember that. Okay. Now I'm all right. I'm getting it.
I'm glad that we've had this talk and stuff, but even with the conversations had with law enforcement, it just wouldn't make sense that it was a mistaken day.
Don Wells said he went to Fred.
Did she just say she had a conversation with law enforcement? Did you guys hear Ziggy say the conversations that I've had with law enforcement? That's what she said. That is what she said. Really, Ziggy? The last conversation you had, they hung up on you, didn't they?
For law enforcement, it just wouldn't make sense that it was a mistake.
Okay, hold on. I didn't take it back far enough.
Even with the conversations had with law enforcement, it just wouldn't make sense that it was a mistaken day.
Don Wells said he went to Fred's on the 15th, that night of the 15th.
Okay.
He sure did.
Do you have cards showing me on the road on the 15th, Fred? Can I see them cards? Can I see the evidence? What can we do?
Well, one of the neighbors, your old neighbor has.
Andy, I think you probably should have reworded that, because you're claiming you wasn't there that day. So why are you asking Fred if you got the evidence and show it to me? Right? Do you guys see what I'm saying? That's kind of weird, right? Thank you, Sandy.
Has some. The one right next door, that's one of them.
Yeah, and I remember seeing old Brandon there, standing down there next to the bench somewhere at some point in time.
Now, I just wish Andy wouldn't have done that. Andy just deflected. Andy just deflected the blame.
I agree with you, Dee. He did deflect. And I thought Fred said he's the one who's seen Brandon. So I apologize for that, because that just came out of Andy's mouth, that Brandon was standing down there.
Blame on somebody else. Try to put the blame off on somebody. That goes against everything I believe in.
Well,
I just wish Andy.
I don't know if Andy was trying to put blame on Brandon, but he was pointing out that he did see him. Oh, thanks, Sandy. I appreciate you.
Wouldn't have done that. From category 3 to category 2.
Now, this is what I'm thinking. Before Summer went missing, he was standing down there waiting on somebody early in the morning, so I don't know who he ever met.
Brandon, is that what you said?
Yeah.
That JLR dude?
Yes, that day. That Brandon. At some point in time, somebody took a phone from you that had questions about where Summer was. Because I've wondered. Now, I don't know whether it be you working for the police or you asking somebody else. No, what?
Wait. What did Andy just say? I need to hear that one more time. Somebody took a phone from you. From who?
Yes, that day. At some point in time, somebody took a phone from you that had questions about where Summer was.
Is he? At some point in time, somebody took a phone from you that had questions about where Summer was. Is he saying they took Brandon's phone or Fred's? See, this is the thing about these conversations. It's hard to understand who they're talking about. Yeah, you don't have any receipts that Andy was there. And law enforcement's starting to get really pissed off about this stuff. For real. Yeah, Brandon lived in the area. Yes.
Because I wondered. Now, I don't know whether it be you working for the police or you asking somebody else. Yeah, what? Hold on. They had your phone on the 15th? They took my phone and dipped it on the 15th. Okay. Why would they take your phone?
Why would they take his phone and dip it on the 15th? This phone stuff is confusing me. Fred's phone. Why would they? Okay.
Phone and not take my phone.
Why would they take your phone and
They
not
didn't take
mine?
my phone. They didn't take Jody Sue's phone. They didn't take Boogie's phone. No, they did not. They didn't take my phone. They didn't take her phone.
So they didn't take your phone. That's really bad police work, if that's true. Because if
They did not take my phone.
saying you text, it's done.
That's right, Miss Ziggy. That it's done text and all that crap. They're lost now. Thank you, Ronnie Lawson. Thank you, sir.
We don't even know if there was really a text that said it's done. Okay. That's what I'm asking, Danny. Yeah, you're right. Closed caption, don't understand accents. That whole phone, I'm rewinding that a minute. Okay. The phone stuff. I'm sorry, you guys, you know how I am.
Well, one of the neighbors, your old neighbor has some. The one right next door, that's one of them.
Yeah, and I remember seeing Brandon there, standing down there next to the bench somewhere at some point in time.
Now, I just wish Andy wouldn't have done that. Andy just deflected. Andy just deflected the blame onto somebody else. Try to put the blame off on somebody. That goes against everything I believe in. I just wish Andy wouldn't have done that. From category 3 to category 2.
Now, this was, I'm thinking, before Summer went missing, he was standing down there waiting on somebody early in the morning, so I don't know who he ever met.
Brandon, is that what you said?
Yeah.
That JLR dude?
Yes, that day.
And that was early in the morning. Okay. So what relevance that would even have to Summer going missing? And now Fred and Ziggy are saying they've seen the tape where the vehicle from Mississippi was following the dark future. No, they're not exploited. Are you kidding me? So that's why Fred didn't have a phone and Ziggy gave Fred a phone after the bone incident. My thing on this dark blue truck that they're talking about, number one, from my understanding, his buddy Chad has a blue truck. Okay. And now they're saying that the tags were from Mississippi. Ziggy sends a email to TBI and does not mention that truck. When TBI does not contact her back, a week later, she puts it on the TBI tip line and mentions that truck. Okay? TBI sent it to Hawkins County and said, you call this lady. Right? I think he was on the phone to prove it. She started, Ellie showed Fred a picture from a video, and Andy was on. She never started to prove it. They saw a video. Yeah.
That at some point in time, somebody took a phone from you that had questions about where Summer was.
At some point in time, someone took a phone from you because they had questions about where Summer was. Now, Andy's not saying it's law enforcement.
Because I wondered. I don't know whether it be you working for the police or you asking somebody else.
I don't understand that verbiage. I don't understand that. He says, I don't know if you were working for the police or was asking for somebody else. So somewhere, someone asked to see a phone and it wasn't law enforcement.
Hold on. They had your phone on the 15th? They took my phone and used it on the 15th. Okay.
They took his phone on the 15th. Fred is saying they took his phone on the 15th. Why would they take Fred's phone on the 15th if they felt he didn't have anything to do with Summer going missing? Yes, the whole conversation was what the truck looked like, who was in the truck, that Andy was going to meet him, and Pruitt hung up on her. So why would they take your phone on the 15th, Fred? Why would they feel it necessary to take your phone, Fred, on the 15th and look at your phone? Because this whole crazy story about you being a mediator for Dawn and Andy because they owed some money. Yeah. Hey, Mama Bear. Again, I'll ask this. Has Fred probably been? I would think so, unless he didn't get permission. Now, I remember a conversation, and I can't tell you guys where I remember it from, that Fred said they actually came into where, I guess, where he was manufacturing the stuff and tore down the wall. They were tearing down the wall or some crap, right? Yes, and they kept his phone. So my question is, what device was he using to record the conversations? It doesn't make sense.
Why would they take your phone and not take my phone? They did everybody's phone. They didn't take my phone. They didn't take Jody Sue's phone. They didn't take Boogie's phone. No, they did not. They didn't take my phone. They didn't take her phone.
So they didn't take your phone. That's really bad police work if that's true. Because if
they did not take my phone.
No, I say it's really good police work that they took a phone of someone who they felt might be a person of interest. They may not have taken their phones, but Jody and them were willing to give law enforcement whatever they needed. I've never been able to find it. Oh yeah, that was good that they did that.
You text, it's done.
That's right, Miss Ziggy. That it's done text and all that crap, they're lost now. Thank you, Ronnie Lawson. Thank you, sir.
My opinion again, I do not believe that there was a text that said it's done in Candace's phone. I could be wrong. I am not the phone police, nor was I there that day. It was weird that that was even mentioned by Hunter that day. Dogs hit there in the driveway, kids closing the washer, Fred question about Summer, Fred was moving vehicles. Well, that's all different. That's all different stories too. What he was doing, what time they got back, the whole thing. Him and Laura were contradicting their stories. So, yeah, this is my thing. Look, and I can't say and say that somebody wasn't trying to set Fred up. I don't freaking know. But that's really questionable. I don't believe that it's done text the way it was supposedly found couldn't have happened. I've had a lot of people tell me that too, that there's no way that he could have found it that way. Because in the gallery, isn't that pictures that you have in your gallery? But not just his, Andy B as well. You mean checking the property? They did search Andy's property. If you go back and look at the amount of people that were searching from Summer and the total amount of all the area that they were looking, let me ask you guys this. If you're looking for a little girl, right? And law enforcement comes knocking on your door. Look, we got a missing child. We're trying to find her. Can we check out your area? What do you think law enforcement's going to think if that person says, no, you can't look on my land? What do you think law enforcement's going to think? They're going to think that somebody's up to something shady. From my understanding, everyone that they ask to search their properties and things like that, they did it. And I think a lot of people misconstrued when Lawson came out and said, hey, search your properties. We may have searched it, but, please go out and search it again. I mean, in Summer's case, so much has been said that, was misconstrued by people. So, yes, EquiSearch search. The helicopter was infrared. Jody Sue showed it going over 125 on a Facebook video. I believe Andy. I do. I mean, he's still questionable in my book, on certain things, but I really don't think that Andy is lying about not being there when Summer was taken.
Thank you for making us wait 3 years. Thank you. When you didn't even collect the evidence, when you didn't even collect the closest neighbors' phones from them on.
Well, I can see where if y'all don't think that Jody did not give law enforcement what they needed in Summer's case, I don't know what to tell you guys for sure. And what I just played was not, to me, Andy Bernard saying that he came home early that day. That's not what I heard. So, I mean, if some people are taking it that way, but then again, we come to Fred, right? Well, I think a lot of people think that. My only question with that is Jody had stated Andy did send that text to Candace, but it has nothing to do with Summer's disappearance. She told Andy it was stupid and looked bad. Ronnie Lawson and Leslie said the neighbors gave permission. Absolutely, they gave permission. Well, to be honest with you guys, of course, I went back and listened myself to Laura, Fred's girlfriend, when she was on some panels, and did go back and listen to a few things that Fred had said. And you know, I try to see things many different ways, and you know, not just be sucked into this vortex that I'm believing what people are putting out. I can tell you that the bone incident, that was enough for me. That was enough for me, for sure. For sure. I mean, Ziggy's been making some good money. She really has. But, you know, that's on her. If she does not have any, you know, Don B, right there's a title Don B put out a year ago. Is this why Summer Wells went missing? He is Andy Bernard. Now, this is a full call that Andy and Boog had, his son, where they were talking about Jody liking to spend a lot of money, right? I don't know why they put that out. I guess they wanted people to realize that Boog was not a minor, right? They also put out where Boog had come up on the hill, which that wasn't, I didn't understand that, only because well, the neighbor had the video and they saw it, but how do we know the date on the video was correct? Because when you set that up, you pretty much put the time and stuff in there, right? And it's one thing to see it. But let me ask you that. Let me ask you this. Who is the person in the Summer Wells case who has came out and pointed fingers at everybody except themselves? That's my thing. Why wouldn't the neighbor have given that to law enforcement? And Ziggy keeps trying to be adamant with Pruitt. Fred showed you these things. You showed Fred's pictures of these things. Does people really care about finding Summer? Or do they care more about a YouTube channel and, you know, which is it? Because I've said this many times, a lot of these people are just downright lying, whether they're doing it for attention, clicks, views, the money they're making. They're downright lying about things to cover up, in my opinion, their own nefarious bullshit. And believe it or not, you guys, my intention was not to even really talk about this again. But now I'm like, WTF? I mean, come on. Most of these people came on YouTube because they seen other people making money off of Summer's disappearance, and they were in that area or from that area. Fred has pointed the finger. I can understand Don and Candace blaming everyone around them. I probably would also if my child went missing. This is my thing. And I can't remember if Candace said herself that she went to Fred's. If I heard 4:30. I heard around 4:30. And I don't have my notes out to really dig in and look. But I have a question also. Do you guys think what Ziggy is doing is helpful to Fred at all? Seriously. Do you think what she is doing is helping Fred at all? Yeah. Yeah, she did mention who the other creator was. No, she didn't. I'm sorry. No, she didn't. She did not mention who the other creator was. Someone else told me. Someone else told me. I watched this channel, McBro, also. Let's see what this one is. This is from 2 years ago. And this is from a channel called McBro. McBro. Jody's in her vehicle. Let me give him a like. No, and it's going to get her in trouble. Okay, well, Jody's in her car.
I don't know. I ain't trying to get in trouble here on this.
I understand. If we need to wait a few weeks, there's so much controversy about the scream is because the scream was said to have happened, and it was even reported on the news, but it was followed up with Ronnie Lawson saying that yes, officers, the TBI and the FBI have interviewed them several times, and they find it to be unfounded, which means there is no basis in fact. So law enforcement doesn't believe that it happened.
This is the thing about the scream. I wasn't there. I don't know if Jody heard a scream. I don't know if it was relevant to Summer's case at all. I think but once again, if the video is real, it cannot be potential evidence until the video was shown to be suspect. If it has nothing to do with Summer, they would show everybody because it doesn't have. My thing is with Fred, why did they take your phone, Fred? Why did they take your phone? If it had nothing to do with Summer, they showed everybody because it doesn't have evidentiary value or it wasn't turned in, which is sus as F. Fred's getting ready to go back to Tennessee for something, right? Okay. This is the thing about the screen. I don't understand if the scream was thought to be relevant even to Jody, and law enforcement spoke with her about it, why she came out on the news and said anything. You guys understand what I'm saying? Kind of weird, right?
What do you say to that?
So here he is helping Scott target me.
What? The area is helping Scott target me.
Speak about that.
Yeah, go ahead and help him target me. Monster, go ahead.
Now, see, I don't know why my children would have a reason to lie to me. They told me basically kind of the same thing they all told me. All three of them told me about the same thing or the same thing. So,
Yeah.
you know, I don't see why they lie. But saying that too, a lot of other stuff that had been said.
Well, what other stuff? He went around for weeks before I asked him.
I understand.
Too late.
If we need to wait a few weeks before you answer that,
This is
we
fucking
understand,
bullshit.
at least here on the panel, at that stage, we understand why.
Yeah.
You know, right, Joe.
I have another question.
But mainly, I guess the point I was getting at is you didn't hear about the scream until you got home later on that evening because you didn't even know Summer Wells was missing until you got home that evening.
Yeah, I didn't know she was missing until I came home. There wasn't no text saying that she was missing. I left work, you know, and Substance come home. Probably ended up having to go right back out to get dinner or something.
That's it.
That was kind of the plan.
I'm calling again. I fucking had it. I fucking had it.
Oh, Jody's mad. Andy did not know about the scream until he got home. I agree. You can't prove someone hearing a scream was false. And the kids heard it also. The kids heard it also. You can't find... Here, I'll get it. I'll pull it up right here. I got it. I got it, girls. I don't, there's the link to McBro's channel when I'm watching. I guess my question is, if she talked to the TBI, FBI in Hawkins County about this scream, and did they, lies, I deleted, allegedly. What? Yeah, I'm not going to be the person who sits up here and says that I don't believe Jody heard a scream. Not at all. I guess my question on the scream was, if Candace was home at the time that Jody hears the scream, and it sounded the way that it did, I don't know why she wouldn't have inquired, you know, gave Candace a ring ding and said, look, I heard this horrific scream. Oh, allegedly the neighbor on Simpson Loop. Right? And is that maybe why she came out to law enforcement with it? Because they were saying that they didn't think that the scream had anything to do with Summer. They wasn't discrediting Jody hearing the scream. What they were saying was that they felt it had nothing to do with Summer going missing, right? So, but yeah, she didn't like this. And Jody was sitting in her car a lot on Facebook when Summer, right after Summer went missing. I'm going to find where Andy Bernard called Detective Pruitt. I don't think there's anything else on here. Well, maybe, hold on. Okay. I don't think there's anything else on there. Let me see if I can find where Andy talked to Detective Pruitt. It only take me a minute. Andy Bernard. A lot of these things, all I have to do is put in one word and it pops right up for me. Hold on. I know it's in here. Lordy, Lordy. Where is it? I know I've got it on my phone because I was sent a link to it. All right, I'll have to find it. And oh, it's on Andy's channel. I think he put it out himself on his channel. Here we go. Oh, that was Ziggy's call from 3 days ago. All right, hold on. I mean, the craziness was they talked about Andy. They talked about Bug. They said Bug could have got Summer off the hill and given her to Andy and then allegedly taken her to, I mean, they were bringing Andy's dad into it and stuff. All right, I got to find that link. I know it's in here. I didn't realize there were so many people live when I went live today. Here we go. I think this is it. Here it is. I don't, hold on, because I don't know. Okay, I did find this. On Sunday night, she was talking about the vehicle from Mississippi and the neighbor with the video. Why is she talking now and saying that well, no, I don't know, Danny. I don't know. This case is crazy. This is like the Sebastian Rogers case. I mean, I don't understand why. This is Sleuthhound. This is put out by Sleuthhound, and it's Andy Bernard calls Detective Pruitt in Summer's case. This is regarding Fred Hill. Okay, hold on. Please tell me I got it on.
I mean, was I on?
Unless concrete leads come up that we can sort of verify the direction it's headed, we're just accepting concrete leads, and your name has not come up.
Okay. Well,
that, and I wouldn't put too much faith in what Fred Hill is saying.
Well, I kind of knew that for the rip, but for 3 years, this has kind of been affecting me for 3 years.
I can understand, sir, but like I said, your name is not relevant to the investigation, so you don't have anything to be concerned.
It's not, oh yeah, okay. Yeah, I knew it was on Andy's page. Thank you. I'll pop over to my email real quick. Wise is like a walking encyclopedia for cheese. I love having conversations with Wise, but all right. So this is the full call. It's 2 minutes and 50 seconds long. This is the actual call of Andy speaking with Pruitt. This was on March 26th of 2024.
Sheriff's office.
Yeah, I was just trying to get a hold of Detective Pruitt. I was trying to find out a couple things about something.
Hold on just a minute.
Thank you.
I'm surprised they're not playing Superman music.
Detective Pruitt.
Yes, sir. How you doing today?
I'm fine. How are you?
All right. My name's George Bernard, Andy Bernard. I live at 125 Ben Hill Road. I was just trying to figure out some information, maybe, possibly.
What about?
Well, okay, for 3 years, I've been wrapped up in the middle of the Summer Wells case. For a while now, Fred, my cousin, has been saying that I was on the road that day. Nobody else has questioned me after I left my residence, when I separated from my
You're cutting in and out, sir. I can't hear half of what you're saying.
Can you hear me better now?
A little bit.
Okay. I left my residence, didn't go back till September. I went through a separation in the process. I mean, I was just wondering, I was just trying to figure out if there was anything I could do, needed to do. Do you need to talk to me, see me? I mean,
sir.
I mean, was I on?
Unless concrete leads come up.
Unless concrete leads come up saying Andy's name. Now, the leads, it seems that they've been getting, does not have Andy's name anywhere in them.
That we can sort of verify the direction it's headed. We're just accepting concrete leads, and your name has not come up.
Okay, I want you guys to listen to that part one more time. Very important. We're accepting concrete leads that can tell them the direction that they need to go. You guys remember when it was said we are having to unturn stones that we never thought we would need to, right?
Up, that we can sort of verify the direction it's headed. We're just accepting concrete leads, and your name has not come up.
Okay. Well,
that, and I wouldn't put too much faith in what Fred Hill is saying.
Well, I kind of knew that for the rip, but for 3 years, this has kind of been affecting me for 3 years.
I understand, sir, but like I said, your name is not relevant to the investigation, so you don't have anything to be concerned about.
Okay, I greatly appreciate that.
Your name is not relevant to this investigation. I believe they said law enforcement, Hawkins County, TBI, FBI have spoken to Andy. What else does Ziggy need? I don't understand that. I just don't understand it. Yes, a lot of this shit took a lot of time from Summer's case. Absolutely.
That eases my mind a lot, and I greatly appreciate you, sir.
Have a good day.
You too, sir. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Why does it ease your mind, Andy? It eases your mind that they're not looking at you because any information that they've received so far, your name hasn't been mentioned. A lot of these people know exactly what's gone on in that holler. A lot of them, for sure. Oh, Lord Jesus, take the wheel. Take the wheel. So, honestly, you guys, I never really thought about Andy anyway, because it was said over and over and over again that Andy was at work that day. Do you guys honestly think that people are lying for Andy? That's exactly what he said. Don't take stock of what Fred is saying. Nobody should have to say anything else about Andy, period. Well, and I'll say this again because this is truly my opinion, and I've been thinking it the whole time. Jody and Andy are probably still not in a good place with each other, and Jody was very angry at him. Very angry at him. So I don't know what. Let's listen real quick. Oh, that's Dr. Phil. I don't want to show Dr. Phil's stuff. I mean, Jody's put out text, but then Andy says that Jody's had access to his devices. What in the world is this? I don't even want to show Reverend Donna Serafina stuff at all. There's only one psychic that what they said I took into consideration, and that was Sloan Bella. Sloan Bella. Now, the dream that was the dream that was talked about that allegedly Andy had, that shit was weird to me. Now, I was uncomfortable when Jody let her daughter speak about that dream of Andy saying that he's seen Summer's remains. That was way over the top. Yeah, the boys had not been taken at all when Sloan Bella did her reading. She only did one. I've never heard her talk about Summerwell's case again. Ziggy and Fred's gotten worse. I believe they have some other dude syndrome. But I do understand what Andy was saying because it does affect their lives. It affects their lives. This case, individuals have put out everything that they can find out about anyone who lived in the area. And I'm sorry, but you want to talk about RSOs in your area? Pull up your area. Pull up your area. See how many RSOs you have living in your area. It's a lot. And we have to think about the non-registered offenders also. Give me 1 second, you guys. Let me get another cup of coffee. Okay, sorry y'all, I had to get a cup of coffee. You've got 3 within a 5-mile period. And like I said, you guys, my conversation wasn't, I wasn't expecting to talk about summer today. But I do believe that Michelle After Dark did a 2 months ago. And wait, had Ziggy already put that out about the Dawn's debt? She's got Ziggy talking to Laura. She's got Ziggy talking to Laura. All right. Give me a second, you guys. I want to pull this up. This is Michelle. Hang on. Sorry, you guys. Chad, he's calling me when he gets a chance at work. He really likes his job. I'm super proud of him. I know his dad would be really proud of him too. Okay, so this is Michelle After Dark. Let me share it. And I will definitely give her kudos, credit Michelle After Dark, if you guys haven't gone over and checked her Summer Wells content out, she did a genealogy tree and everything. So, oh yeah, the choir teacher on the Madeline Soto case. Is that what you're talking about? I haven't talked about the Madeline Soto case for a while. Yes, the choir teacher, that case is also, yeah, I know, Flies. I am too. I'm so super proud of him. I know he wishes his dad was here. I think in sometime in March or May, they're actually going to have a graduation ceremony for college. And, you know, with everything that was going on and, you know, losing his dad, I have to say that he, you know, he had a really hard time of it, but he kept doing what he had to do. And I'm super proud of him for it. Okay, so this is Michelle After Dark. It's called Andy Bernard Knows What Happened to Summer Wells, Dawn's Debt, and Fred Hill Doubling Down.
And Fred does the word up to him. You say my name again, and he'll kill you.
Okay, so that was Sherpy Sr. That was Sherpy Sr. talking about Fred Hill tells Dawn. Okay, listen to it one more time.
He is playing Fred, and Fred does the word up to him. You say my name again, and he'll kill you.
So Sherpy Sr. himself said that, yeah, I know, Flies. Sherpy Sr. says that Fred put the word out that if Dawn talks about him, that he will unalive Dawn. Right? Hang on. She's got a lot of music in here.
Welcome to another video. It is
I
Tuesday
love her
morning,
dogs.
the 28th, is it? I think, maybe, possibly, of
I-
November. So we're talking about the Summer Wells case today, and we are talking about Fred Hill and Andy Bernard. If you've been following Summer's case as closely as I have, and you understand that the people surrounding Summer Wells in the vicinity of her house are pretty much all related. Yes, there are some new people who've moved in recent years, which has upset the locals, but you know, the original Beach Creekers, they're all related in some way, shape or form.
Thank you, Michelle, because I've been trying to make people understand that from the beginning. They're all related somehow. They're all related somehow. Now, some people think that, I can find it, Flies. I think I remember where it's at. JLR put it out. Olivia put it out. I think Olivia put it out too. I don't know if when Molly lost her channel, if she got any of that content back. I'm not sure about that stuff.
Andy Bernard, who used to live at 125 Ben.
Okay, I want you guys to look at this. So Dykes Mills over here, Jody Sue and Andy's cabins right here. There's Dawn and Candace's, and there's the dog trail.
Ben Hill Road, which is directly across from Summer's house, which of course is 110 Ben Hill Road. He was the long-term partner, boyfriend, whatever, of Jody Sue Brown. Jody Sue has had a lot to...
Then we have Fred's place is over here. Mary Sexton's property's here. So Shirky Sr. came from Mary Sexton's property. The alleged footprints, and I have to say alleged, I know that EquiSearch, Dave Radar did say they were told about it, but I don't believe EquiSearch ever seen that themselves either. Yeah, there are a lot of them that's gone.
Say about the Summer Wells case. Then we've got further down Ben Hill Road, 165, 167, and then 209, is it? Or 207? I never remember.
207 is also considered at the time Fred's property also, right?
That number. Anyway, those are the properties that were owned by Fred Hill's family. Fred Hill is the cousin of Andy Bernard. They have common ancestor, Ben Hill, who the road is named after. Fred Hill is Ben Hill's grandson. Andy Bernard is Ben Hill's great-grandson, so it makes them cousins once removed, but they're not close, apparently. Both sides have said that, yeah, they knew each other, but they weren't like dead close growing up. Okay, all good. How does any of this relate to Summer Wells?
Yes,
well,
ma'am.
There's been an ongoing, let's say, debate between the two cousins. Was Andy on the road the day that Summer disappeared? What does it matter? It matters if Andy lied. Now, I don't know who's telling the truth. I wasn't there. Neither were you.
Thank you, Michelle. I say that all the time. I wasn't there. Nobody was there except those who were. And it wasn't any of us. Why everyone was saying Fred Hill was so scary. Probably because of the incident where he pew-pewed a guy in the throat. That was weird to me too, Danny. I must say that Shirky Sr., and I'm going to find that here in a second, that Shirky Sr. came to the protesters and mentioned his son.
If you were, well, I hope you've told TBI all you saw. But
and we can repeat now that law enforcement, all the way up to the FBI, has spoke to Andy. And I'm sure that they've all talked to Jody. I don't know why no one really listened to Jody when she said the information that I have talked to law enforcement about is not going to be put out by me. Is exactly what she said.
For a long time now, Fred Hill has been saying that Andy turned up, maybe with a couple of other vehicles, between 3:30 and 3:45. And they went right down to the bottom of the hollow. Fred Hill had to move for them because he was loading up cars to take them to the crusher, the Scrappy, in Kingsport. Okay, and he had to move for these vehicles coming through, and he knew it was Andy.
One of the things students love about culinary school online.
Hi, you guys. And I am using this under fair use, commentating for
Distant things
educational
that
purpose.
Fred Hill has said. Because one of the problems with Fred Hill is that he's told so many stories. He said things that absolutely cannot be true. Like Rose Bly used to live at 110 and was a prostitute working out of 110. Look, this...
I don't get why Fred said that. I don't get why Fred said that. Rose Bly had been missing. If you go back, from my understanding, the incident happened when Candace and Dawn were on the road to Tennessee. So why would Fred say something like that? Rose Meyer, thank you, Poppy. Rose Meyer was Grandma's girlfriend, right? and an older individual who I can probably say wasn't on the hill being a lady of the night.
These things that Fred Hill has said cannot possibly be true. But the question then becomes, well, did Fred Hill believe it? So it's his truth. It just doesn't happen to be factually accurate. I don't know. Fred Hill has even told different versions of where he was that day. First of all, he said that around 3:30ish, they left. I don't remember the exact time, maybe 3:30ish or something to coincide with Andy coming in. They were loading cars onto a trailer to take them to the Scrappy in Kingsport. But
everything that Fred had said is putting in the area. Oh, a cousin? I thought that was Ken. I thought that was Grandma's girlfriend. So I don't know about being a cousin of Candace's. That would be weird. But I don't know.
But then he's since said he didn't take anything to the Scrappy. He's since said, oh, they went out, they went to the store, they were gone the time that Summer would have disappeared. And then they came back and everything.
And we heard Fred say that he followed Dawn into the holler on the 15th. That was weird to me. Maybe he meant that he came in. Let me ask you this. How would he know that he followed Dawn into the holler that day if when he got to the holler, he couldn't get through? How would he know when Dawn came home that day? Yeah, she says what we think ourselves. Yeah.
Everything was all in an uproar, like there was cops everywhere, but they didn't go to the Scrappy. The inconsistent stories that Fred Hill has told really do worry me. They make it look like Fred is hiding something, even if he isn't. The truth is the truth, and it doesn't change. You might remember things that you've forgotten. You might add some stuff. You might say, oh, no, was that day or was that a different day? You might be a little bit confused, but Fred Hill is absolutely adamant. So much so that Ziggy, who married Fred Hill back in May of this year, I think it was, has wrote to the TBI, that concerned that they're not taking it seriously that Andy was on the road that day. If he was on the road that day, what does it matter? He can drive up and down that road as many times as he wants. It was a public road. Fred's argument is that
okay, wait. Michelle did this 2 months ago. 2 months ago. Let's go back to this. Okay, so this was on the tip line too. Wait. Why is Ziggy acting like she just sent this to TBI? Wait. Rosemeyer is a cousin. Oh, okay. Thank you, Flies. So well, I guess I'm behind in the times. So Ziggy is re-releasing this? Is that what she's doing? Like I said, in this tip to TBI, Brad. Okay. I thought maybe Ziggy had sent this, and because they felt it was true, that she kept it to herself. And I guess that's not true. If Michelle had it 2 months ago, you think it's all a grift, Karen? Oh, Ziggy's been talking about, because I tell you guys, I don't really watch Ziggy. I don't. Okay.
Hey, if he was on the road that day, what does it matter? He can drive up and down that road as many times as he wants. It was a public road. Fred's argument is that it does matter because he lied. So it's the lie that's the problem. He lied to the TBI. He lied to Hawkins County. He's lied to social media. It doesn't matter what he tells social media as long as he told the truth to the TBI. Fred's argument is, why would he lie?
True.
Well, this is what Andy had to say about the issue.
I was at work. The TBI has been to my work and seen me on camera at work all day.
Okay, so I mean, but you were spotted on that road, bro. At a. Hey guys, did you know?
Okay, he's talking to Benny. All right, that just adds a whole different. That's a different flavor to me. For real.
Dude.
And so you're going to take words of a meth head that's goddamn clacked the fuck out since he shot old boy in the goddamn neck a couple years ago?
Who shot who in the neck?
Well, your confident informant, Fred, said he take me on the goddamn road.
Oh, Fred was the one that did the shooting?
I mean, how the goddamn fuck you? I mean, y'all fucking say it on the internet and look shit up.
Jodie Sue, Andy's then partner, had a lot to say about the timeline. For her timeline to be in any way truthful or accurate, has to have Andy being at work and working late. And this is what she said about the time, the 4:30 to 4:42 time when she heard the scream, but she was texting Andy. She worked out the time from the text.
Somewhere between 4:30 and 4:42, the children and I were sitting there being pretty loud, laughing, carrying on. I mean, and when I say loud, we're pretty loud. However, the cabin was quiet, TV running, no air, no fans.
He said that the whole
and
time.
This scream happens. And what I thought was, okay, well, we heard the truck or car door, right? The one. And even though by this point, the woodcutter's been gone for hours.
She started to say the truck. Just like her putting out the message she just saw to her sister. I don't know if I really see that, Danny, because I don't think Jody's saying that to so people won't look at him sideways, because guess what? Everybody has looked at them sideways. So I don't know about that, but so the camera pick has been in question since. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, screen name. This all isn't anything new. I mean, I just never paid close attention to Ziggy before realizing she had already released that TBI tip email and tip on the YouTube streets before. Way back in January, when Fred and Ziggy had the bone incident. Oh, Ziggy and Fred too? Yeah, I can see that. I can see that.
Should not have been there. In my head, trying to dismiss this, I was like, okay, so one of Candace's dogs has gotten too close to where a woodcutter was, and they've kicked it. But I knew the sound was wrong for a dog. And I knew it didn't make sense because there'd be no reason there'd be a straggler in there that long. I've heard every noise you can imagine out of those three. And they go down further than Summer, and they do ride their dirt bikes back and forth and things like that. And they go in places that Summer really doesn't. But this wasn't their noises. But that's what hit me, right? That's not the boys, and that's what I said. And it never really occurred to me, Summer. And the reason is because Summer doesn't play down far enough to really hear. You hear sometimes when she's high on the bank, or, one of the boys are picking, or she's picking, or she's, but not a whole lot. You hear Summer. And this was a pretty quick series of events. It was what is that? That's the kids. No, it isn't. Yes, it is. And she gets to the door first, and she goes, I can still hear it. It's one of the kids. And she was like, it's going, it's muffled. Those were her exact words. That day, she was like, I can still hear it.
And then at 6:09, when.
Okay. Now that's interesting, those words, right? It's muffled. How did Dawn describe somebody possibly getting Summer and taking her down the hill? You guys remember? Right? Dawn saying the story about someone possibly having their hand, well, he didn't really even say possibly, but he talked about, someone having their hand over Summer's mouth. Now, another thing that comes to my mind a lot was, and I remember hearing this, if I didn't hear it and I'm wrong, please let me know, was the fact that Jody Sue allegedly was the one that told Dawn about the dog trail. Jody was allegedly the one that told Dawn Wells about the dog trail, the dogs hitting on that dog trail, right? Lawson says it was at the end of the driveway, didn't he? Or am I mistaken? Am I getting confused? Somebody please let me know.
And she had the last communication with Andy before he set off.
At one point near 6, I believe on the phone at 6:09, I'm going around the top curve roadway to start the descent down. By this point, I'm hearing, hold on.
Now wait. She's starting this at 6:09. She's going down the hill, but yet she said at 6:09 she was already in the creek area, and Candace was at the end of the driveway when that conversation took place. Okay.
Now, he worked in Kingsport, so it's about, I don't know, 25 minutes, which would put Andy coming in like
At the
25
end
to
of the
7, 20 to
driveway.
7,
Thank you
quarter to
for
7
that.
even, if he stopped off somewhere. He said he stopped off for a drink, I think. And he came in around the same time as Don Wells. Now, Don Wells was working in Jonesboro. He would have set off around 6:25, something like that, when he knew that Summer was missing. And he said he like put his foot down and he went full throttle all the way home. Jonesboro was about 45 minutes away, and he arrived as the first cops were showing up.
So what time did you get there? Do you remember? Well, they say, it's really strange because I thought it was 5:30, but the 911 call says 6:30, 6:26 is when the first call come in. And that could well be.
And see, that was always interesting to everyone too. Dawn kept saying 5:30. I thought it was 5:30.
I went till sunset, and I went down the hill by the creek in that little four-wheel drive Subaru. I went straight down there to the creek, and I seen the boys down there, and they know not to travel alone. They was together, and I see my neighbor walking around.
This is what bothers me also. If first he says he talked to Candace all the way home, but yet then he said that when she didn't call him back and say they found Summer, that he went down to the shed. Now, another red flag for me, maybe not for other people, I don't know, was the fact that you have a missing daughter. I would think that the boys being at home when Summer went missing, my first place I would have stopped was to talk to the boys. It's very interesting that when there was a gag order placed and it was requested that Dawn not speak to the boys about Summer, that's when he was adamant that he wanted to talk to the boys about Summer, to the extent that he tried to talk, I believe, to the oldest boy at some point, knowing there was a gag order.
And I knew my heart just sank right there. I just knew it, that somebody took her. Like, because you just don't go nowhere, but she would never leave from up the, burnt house there. No way. Yeah, I mean.
And Jody even said that. We heard Jody say that, right? That there was a point where Summer didn't go. Why was it important? Why would you even think to look at Fred Hills for Summer? Why would you even think that? Take the math out of the equation. Well, that sounded weird, didn't it? Take the math out of the equation. Immediately, Fred Hill was put into the scenario of Summer going missing. Why? Why?
What about the boys? What were they doing when you saw them down there by the shed?
They weren't by the shed. They were, if you look down where the power lines are, you can see where the tree service has cleared all this out.
Are you?
I always liked watching Michelle. She's got a lot of common sense. A lot of common sense. For real.
Power lines. Okay. All the way up to that house up there. The girls straight down, they were looking, walking around looking for Summer. And I just knew she was gone.
If Andy wasn't at work and Fred Hill saw him, that puts Don's recollection of events out of whack. It also puts Jody Sue's recollection of events out of whack. But you might say, well, they're all lying. Ziggy thinks that Andy and Don are in it together. And Summer has...
Do you guys really think Andy and Don were in that together? Because the question would be, what'd they do? Flip a coin? Oh, we both owe this dealer money. So whose daughter are we going to let him take? Right? Jody's daughter was in that holler also. Right? So what are you saying, Ziggy? Fred? That they flipped a coin on whose daughter was going to be taken? Make that make sense to me. I very seldom don't try to make sense of your nonsense. Well, this is the thing, Danny, what people need to understand. When a child goes missing and you don't know where they're at, what do? You panic. You panic. If she looked around the house and hollered and hollered and hollered, what would a mother do that's freaking out? She would get in a vehicle like I would and start driving. Why she went further back in the holler, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I panicked big time once. For real. Well, more than once.
Has been taken because of some drug debt. Now, that's not as wild as it sounds, because apparently the TBI, according to Don, questioned him about drugs and drug debts and why he went to Knoxville and all the rest of it, thinking that Summer's disappearance was something to do with drugs. So it's not as wild as it sounds. But Andy swears down left and right that he was at work on camera and that the cops know he was at work on camera until he left at 6:09-ish. So who's telling the truth? Now, I've always said that maybe Fred, it's his truth, but he's misremembering. And actually, he met Andy on the road on the 14th. Fred is saying now that he didn't go out at all on the 14th. He was asleep all day on the 14th, so it couldn't have been the 14th. The thing that makes me think it was the 14th is that Andy came home early on the 14th because of the Jackie Dobbs situation. This is what Jody Sue said about that.
Oh, you won't believe this. While we're searching for Summer, we go down to the other property. Well, actually, not before, when the weirdo was on our property that bought that piece in the yard that's across the bank, and then was arguing against his own survey that he bought across the bank and or cliff, but nobody provided him with that survey. He was sitting on our property, cut through our lines and stuff, whatever, and he parked his stuff right in the middle of the first two no trespassing signs. And it had already been told, whatever. Anyway, the cops removed him at night. So we were so worried about this guy and how he came off that we went looking that night all the way into Bayless and then every holler in Beach Creek, making sure he wasn't parked in there. And look, this guy hit me so weird. I was like, So there's extra there I'll get to in a few months. But anyway, so we go looking at our other properties, right, Evelyn? And get down there, and the guy who purchased yours has now got a gate up over the county road, not just back where your all's gate is, but over the fucking county road. And as I guess decided he's just going to try to block it off till he can do it long enough to get adverse possession. So I guess we're two properties in this week.
I've seen his house. It's ugly.
See, take it from the kid. This guy
it's,
has done.
it's cobalt blue.
No, that's the wrong one.
Oh, wrong
We're talking about the one that's Virginia Edwards. But anyway, this guy's put up a damn gate across the county road and locked us out of our driveway that connects with your house. So I don't know what we're going to do about that, but it's going to be a couple weeks down the road before we figure that out. With this other property situation, this guy's going to start fighting us over like an idiot and lose. So anyway, just thought you'd enjoy that hilarity. It didn't matter. We climbed his fences and went over and got our stuff anyway and searched for Summer and did what we needed to do so he can bite me. And I hope he enjoys it on camera.
So Andy came home early to deal with Jackie Dobbs, and then they chased him off. It makes sense that Fred saw Andy on the 14th. But he swears down left and right that he didn't. Now, is Fred going to come along at a later date and change his story? Look, there's things.
Yes, ma'am. Fred has came and changed his freaking story. People need to remember Fred Hill lived in that holler. And I mean, he got busted for dealing to 2 undercover cops. That's the people that they pretty much know. So it's who doesn't know. You guys give me a second here, please. Sorry, you guys. I had to talk to Chad for a second. That's why you're not hearing anything. So I apologize, you guys. Yeah, just give me 1 second, you guys. I apologize. Okay, I apologize, you guys. I had to talk to Chad because we got to go take the car in to get the oil changed and stuff. So, Fred, I mean, look, we have to look at him too as, you know, is he just bullshitting, adding stuff, just to be able to keep up the scenario, for Ziggy's channel? Is that what possibly is going on? Why does he keep throwing in distractions? And you know what? He may turn around and say that, other people are putting out distractions, but they personally, I feel, have put out more distractions than anyone else.
That make me suspicious of Andy. Jodie Sue, she says some horrible things that are really incriminating, and then she walks them back.
And I guarantee you, honestly, when Summer disappeared, that's the reason he got so fucking crazy. Even more things about the past few days. It's probably because when the Fed showed up, especially at work, he didn't want me because that day she disappeared. He was supposed to be running late, right? Working over. Guarantee he wasn't. So he knew tick, tick, tick. Time was coming. Cops knew he wasn't, whatever. And he was next to work.
All right. So Jodie's not saying that Andy wasn't at work that day. It sounds like she's saying he freaked out about law enforcement coming to his job. There's nothing who wouldn't get a little freaked out with law enforcement coming to the job?
Time was coming, cops knew he wasn't, whatever, and he was next door, and truth coming. I mean, all kinds of things to fit his shit, but probably shit for months. And what's weird is like he was abusing me that psychotically during the day, but then he was even acting weird for me. Like at night for those last few nights, it was we hold me, a tone I'd never really heard before. I want me to hold him, man, for fucking doing me that way, man. And weird, like baby tone, like man.
Wait, Jodie. Oh my goodness. Andy needed some love. Andy needed some love, and Jodie. Yes, that's what I think too, that, him possibly being with somebody else or something like that. So
This ain't done. If his fucking system thinks this is done, you let me know. I've been telling you. I've been fucking telling you.
Y'all look over there and ask why exactly it is he was selling drugs to the children at 110.
Wow, I remember when she said that.
Were you born between?
She actually made the comment that he was selling sedatives. Now, from what I remember, she did come out and retract that.
He was potentially causing little girls over there to be sedated and to be touched with the shit he was selling over there. Go ask. Because I have fucking questions. Not standing in front of him anymore.
This is the problem with Jodie Sue's testimony. She walks them back. Nobody can tell a consistent story. That concerns me. We don't even know what time Summer actually went missing. Because Candace said, she was looking for Summer at the time of the scream, and that's why she didn't hear it. Well, if the scream was at 4.
Thank you, Michelle. Thank you, Flies, for dropping her link. Thank you, Michelle. This is what I've been saying the whole time. Candace said she was looking for Summer at the time of the scream, which meant Summer went missing quickly after they got home. But yet, when they call law enforcement, what does Candace say? Oh, she's been gone about 10 minutes. I've been looking for her for 10 minutes. Knowing that Summer had been gone a lot longer. Now, what does that do for Summer's case? That takes and puts into searchers' minds that, hey, we're obviously looking for a little girl that has only been gone for a half hour, 45 minutes. Not hours. Not hours. Now, I don't know why the lies. I do look at it at times as Candace trying to COA, because at the time she didn't want her boys to be taken also. Right? Now, if you listen to Fred, he says that didn't make any sense, because he said that Don came to him, told him that he owed some dealers in Knoxville, wanted Fred to be the mediator so they wouldn't come and take the boys like what happened to Summer. So if we listen to Fred, which pisses me off because of the fact you're saying that from the beginning, this this had been brought to you, and the possibility that that little girl was trafficked was there that whole time, and you didn't say anything to law enforcement. Now all of a sudden you want to say something about it. Do you really care about Summer Wells, Fred? Do you really care? I'm just wondering. For sure. Oh.
4:30 to 4:42, Summer was missing almost 2 hours before they called the cops.
So whoever took her had to actually come up into the yard and take her. And I don't understand because, like, my neighbor heard her scream, but I didn't hear her scream because I was in the house with the boys trying to find her. And I guess when my neighbor heard her scream, I was actually in the house and the TV was going. So I didn't even hear the scream.
Everybody, every single person who's spoken out on social media in some way, shape, or form either doesn't make sense, or he's walking stuff back, is inconsistent. All of it is inconsistent. We don't even know what time Summer Wells went missing. I believe, personally, just my personal opinion, is that Candice doesn't know what time Summer went missing. Candice might have a better idea than what she's making out on social media.
I think so.
We don't know. But certainly,
So,
if Fred Hill is remembering accurately, and I'm really not sure he is, then Andy was there. And what was Andy doing there? Not that I believe he was. I do think, it's my personal opinion, that Fred is mistaken. No, Ziggy and Fred say that there's cameras on Ben Hill Road, so they know exactly who came in and out of the holler that day. The TBI might know absolutely what the truth is. They're just not telling us because why should they? So
that's right. Why should they? Why should they? Give me 1 second, you guys. Okay, sorry, I had to go shut my front door. Fred should have law enforcement. Yeah, you should have told law enforcement that from the beginning. And if that is true, why are they bringing it out on YouTube? I mean, why? I don't understand that. I really don't. It is very sad. But I guess, one person that I would like to have a conversation with is Chad. But, I mean, I don't even think Chad has talked to Ziggy. Yeah, I don't understand why people aren't questioning what is being said now. And like I said, how does any of this make Fred look good? How does any of it make Fred look good? Basically, what that message told me was that Fred obviously was someone in the Beach Creek area that could mediate with substance dealers in Knoxville. Now, even though Fred manufactured his stuff himself, I have a feeling that he would, this is just my opinion, get substances from other individuals to make a little bit of money. To make a little bit of money. So sad. So sad. So now what happens? Now what happens? It just seems to me, and I'm just going to be downright honest about this. It seems to me like, what does Fred have to hide? What does Fred have to hide that over this whole time he has not said? And does Ziggy know? Does Ziggy know? Now, okay, I'm getting ready to get off flies. Thank you so much for being in here. Thank you. I'm gonna call you, okay? I'm gonna call you, girl. I guess the only question I have is, do they really care about Summer? This is a harsh question, okay? Do they really care about Summer and finding Summer? Or is this just a freaking game? Right? Or is this just a game? It's horrible. Horrible. And like I said, I was going to talk about a few different things. I was going to talk about the bullhorn Betty nonsense. I'll do that another time. I just, I don't, when I get to talking about Summer, I state how I feel. And I don't expect any of you to feel the same way I do. And as I always say, I don't care if you like Fred. I don't care if you like Ziggy. I don't care if you don't. This is about what is being said and making sense of something that it doesn't make any sense unless you are putting Fred there. You're putting Fred there. That's the first place Dawn wanted to go. Well, let me say this. And I said this was kind of a red flag to me. You drive past your boys to look around the shed, and you also don't go to Fred's immediately. Did you already know Candace had went there? Were you told by Candace that she had already went to Fred's? I don't know. I don't know. But we'll see what's added next. Because I'd like to know how she knew that the license plate on the blue truck that she's talking about now, you know, it's like, let's not mention a truck to TBI when they don't respond over your dealership. Then let's throw in a blue truck. Now they're not caring about that. And ma'am, I believe they would have cared about that blue truck. You didn't make it about the blue truck. You made it about Andy Bernard. And who wants to fight with anybody over Andy Bernard when they know the facts of the case? They've known who they talk to and who they don't talk to. So now you want to throw in that the truck had a Mississippi license plate. I think it was Mississippi. So now you want to throw that in there. What is this doing for Summer's case? And just a question, Did you throw out the Mississippi license plate to law enforcement behind the scenes? Or is that something you're just putting out on YouTube? I mean, just some questions. Just some questions. They are stating it's another vehicle altogether with the Bluetooth. Look, when that story first came out about Andy being in the holler, if I remember correctly, it was a white car with a female in it. Why is Fred doing this? Why? They took your phone on the 15th, Fred. Why would they take your phone on the 15th? Seems kind of odd to me. Seems kind of odd to me. I will change the title of this live because we did end up talking about the case. Like I said, I that wasn't really my intention when I started, but once I start talking about this stuff, it just slaps me in the face. All on the same video, one video. Andy, blue truck, now a vehicle with Mississippi tags, all coming out of the holler at the same time. Let me say this. If Fred was there and he says he's seeing all this stuff, I have a question for you, Fred. What happened to Summer? What happened to Summer, Fred? Where is Summer? Because you sure seem to know a lot. From my understanding, Danny, this is from my understanding, Chad drives a blue truck. I don't know why in my mind, when it first came out that Chad was setting a Fred's, that it was a white truck. I don't know where I got that. And if I am mistaken on that, I do apologize. But if you've seen all of this activity, Fred, if you've seen all of this activity, yeah, Ziggy's saying that, yeah, that she saw the video of it. No, I take that back, exploited. Isn't Ziggy saying that, that Fred saw pics? I could be wrong. I could be wrong. Chad Arnold. Chad Arnold. Yeah, it does. It does. But I am going to get off here, guys. Thanks for popping in with me. And if you guys get a chance, come back tonight. We're going to do kind of name that tune and have some fun and, you know, just relax a little bit. And we'll talk about whatever anybody wants to talk about. And, oh, Ziggy said she saw the video. Well, isn't she special? Isn't she special? Oh, thanks, Exploited. I never look. I never mind to have a conversation about Summer for real. But I'm asking Fred, if you were around, you're contradicting everything that you're saying. We, sir, do not know if you are telling the truth. We don't know if you are telling the truth. And if everything that you're saying is factual. Why all the contradictions? Why all the contradictions? So I'm not saying Fred's guilty of anything, just like I'm saying I don't know. I'm not going to put guilt on anybody else from that area because I don't know. I wasn't there and I don't know what happened. So, she called him again to tell him that. Exploited. Wow. Thank you, Katie Ann. That's crazy. That's just crazy enough. I mean, did the cards tell her that it was what state the license plate was? Did the cards tell her that? I don't know. Oh, she didn't, but she thought about it. Huh. I would say this is the thing. Fred and Ziggy's track record with law enforcement doesn't look real good, right? Does not look real good. So this is the thing. When you mess with law enforcement, it don't matter what state you live in or what has happened. But when you bullshit them over and over and over again, guess what? Even if you've got one little piece of relevant information, they're going to question whether it's bullshit or not. So, like Michelle, I've said it many, many times. What about Summer? What about Summer? I've seen many creators start to talk about Summer, and it doesn't stay talking about Summer. It's either you got to talk about Dawn and Candace, you got to talk about Fred, you got to talk about Jody, you got to talk about Andy, you got to talk about Fred's girlfriend Laura, you got to talk about the lights, you got to talk about everything but little Summer. So it's very heartbreaking. Very heartbreaking. But thank you guys for popping in. If you get a chance, my live schedule for 7 o'clock tonight. Come in, have a little bit of fun. Hopefully I've got it set up where it works pretty good because I know that there is a lag that we have here. But I just want to have some fun and relax and so yeah, come and hang out. Like I said, we'll talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. I mean, you know. And the thing about Bullhorn Betty, if they did revoke her bond, they're not going to go get her. She's not worth the money for them to go get her. Okay. So, and she doesn't have to be back until she's due in court. So, what sense does it make to revoke Betty's bond when she's not even in the state? And she doesn't have to go back to the state until her court date, if that makes any sense. If that makes any sense to y'all. So, peace out, everybody. Please go watch some of the creators I watched today. You know, there is a lot of different info out there about Summer's case, and you know, do little bit of research on your own, or you know, just make sure that the facts are in place. That's what I always ask, and but nobody listens to me anyway. So thank you guys. I appreciate you. And yeah, it could be with all the crap she's pulled, but I don't think they're going to. Why would they waste their time revoking a bond when she's not in the state and she's got to come back to the state to go to court? Now, if she doesn't show up for court, then that's going to be a whole different ball game. So thank you, I appreciate you. Thank you, Poppy. Thank you, H. Davis. And thanks everybody for hanging with me for a little while. So have a great day, and I will see you guys later. Peace out. Let me get my girl up. Well, I'll tell you guys. Peace out. Peace out. I got my Summer Wells shirt on today. So I have Summer Wells on the brain all the time, every day. And this little girl needs to be found. She needs to be found. I will probably cry the day that law enforcement comes out and tells us what happened or lets us know anything. But until then, in my mind, she's growing up, she's being educated, she's being loved, she's in a wonderful environment. And that's what I want to think about. So, all right, peace out, everybody. I'll catch you later. Flies, I'm getting ready to call you, hon. All right, later, guys. Thank you.